Many times you'll be brought to a breaking point, a crushing point. It's where you must thresh, where you must flourish. And there is the filling of thought, and there is thoughtlessness. And there is concentration, and there is void. And there is just going with faith and second questioning it the whole time. What are these viruses we go through? What is the explanation of this? What is the science behind all of this? We don't really know. Why is a snail a snail? Why is the wind the wind? It was a deciding factor before you were even born. But we know there's hope. We know there's light at the end of the tunnel. We look back in our memory and we remember the times of joy and freedom and strength. We know that we can still persevere today. We can still grow today. We can learn something new today. You find the fraction. You stretch out its bandwidth, its length. You find what adds life to you. And it's not a matter of multiplied adjustments. It's a pure silence, a pure stillness. And it's not allowing any other voice to tell you if you're rich, if you're successful. And it's not allowing an item to identify that. Because there are things that we are going to have to pass through. And we continue to pass through them. And the cycles remain, the patterns are in effect. We have to find that branch in between all of this, where the significance of truth, because that's the ocean. Now, these billions of men on the earth, is one really more richer than the other? If the ocean evaporates. Is one really more successful than the other? If all the engines of man fail. So the memory is a beautiful portrait to go back and see what really mattered. Remembering the time when you didn't have all these physical harvests, yet you were so full of joy, so full of the spirit of success. So as we drive in this life, this small life, you can't have to wait 2 weeks to be happy. If you have to use your voice, if you have to sow a seed, if you have to make a phone call, if you have to just self-talk for an hour, whatever it's going to be. When someone is exposed to the truth, when you get exposure in your life, it opens you up to things. Attacks, diversity, test. Sometimes you got to cry, double. Sometimes you have to exercise your vocals until that trigger in your mind occurs, and until you feel the effect of heaven display, and until you feel the power of God pour out. And you have to rise in your spirit, because there's a mandate, there's pressure, there's a mantle, there's a gate, there's a gift, there's choice silver, there's golden elixirs, there's diamond fold stratospheres of wisdom, there's a book inside of you, there's a dynasty inside of you, there's an eternal artifact inside of you, there's life inside of you. We're here to give. When I start going in my own meditation, but I begin to reflect on self, my life isn't as potent, explosive, and forceful as when I take what I'm doing and share it. So even though it'll seem I'm doing this to promote my own business, there's still that dimension I'm sharing with others. But when I get all about me, life becomes very miserable. You're not here for the self. The self and the ego are to die. You're here for others. People that become rich and successful, they serve others. So I don't care if it's one view that got you into the presence. I don't care if it's one seed that you gave up. One financial seed that caused you to feel peace. You keep building around those momentums, and you keep pursuing transformation, and you keep these small growth spurts. So many times when I look in the reflection, I'm like, well, what is to show for all of this? If I have to go to my bank account to show my divinity, then I have a serious issue. And although it is important to follow principles and wisdom and save, because many times the faith module, you can't physically see anything. It's as if there is no harvest. It's as if sometimes it seems you've been faithful for nothing. What do I have to show for this? Well, those 3 books you wrote, those 300 people you touched in 1 week from one video you made, even though you didn't get any money from any of them, that's significance. You build on that pedestal, and you eat from that grain, and you seep in those riches, and you drink from that vial. And then you go to the true reality, and you ask yourself, as a chess master, that was an illusion. The declaration of your voice, pinpointing the circumference of your mind, noticing this caused me to feel decay for a second. This made me feel hindered in the spirit for a moment. And then you analyze, you reject that, you put that there, you say, I delete you, you're not going to be in my hardware. And there was a special purpose. In my reflection, I would just chase all these opportunities and I would learn all these things, and it was great. But God has specifically designed unique individuals in my destiny. And if I didn't, I would get so many dreams. He would give me so many visions. He would overflow, but I would always take the surplus and exercise the elixir of life and expand in my ability. And it would always be reverted back to my ability to seek opportunity. And yet in the vision, in the accumulation, in the seeking, finding that Rhema was the specific now word of what I'm supposed to be doing, who I'm supposed to be talking to. And this is one of the most vital, most important, most critical scenarios that I had to learn as a man of God. As if he gave me a vision and there were 3 individuals. Financially, I'm supposed to invest into. Business-wise, I'm supposed to connect to. Spiritual-wise, I'm supposed to seek counsel. And I saw their face clearly. But I would go and start doing 100 things over here and trying to find the reward of God in between that. And even though that's good, the reward of God is in between what was revealed unto me. The specificness, the 100% pattern of the specific instructions of people. That's destiny. Getting the vision of the totality of the wholesomeness of the now, because eternity and life in God, past, present, and future, is now. So if I can't take and fully prepare, I must wake up to the word. I must wake up to the truth. If I wake up to my operation and not the truth, my operation will be insufficient, deficient. If I wake up to the truth, and after I wake up to the truth, I must let the word permeate my heart. If the word of God does not permeate my heart, I will have all these aspirations, all these buildings I'm building, all these legacies I'm directing, all these guidelines I'm initiating, but they won't be an activation from the will. It'll be me adjusting from my heart center to my mind center, adjusting from spirit mode to carnality mode. And I will be driving these things God has given to me, but not in his will, not in his spirit, not in his movement. So it is critical to arise and awake and enter into his presence